welcome everyone. We are on our Tuesdays at noon. Currently, we are studying the book Alert by Joana de Angelis through the medium Divaldo Pereira Franco. The book is not yet published, but we are working on the translation and we are using it as material for us. So I'm going to share the screen with you so we can follow the reading. We have both in English and Portuguese, the English and the original Portuguese version. And we are already on lesson 29. It's been 29 weeks that we have been studying this. As always, we are recording our meetings. If by any chance you don't want to show your image or your name, please feel free just to, to remove the image and follow. Okay? So below limits, the exuberant day progresses towards happenstance. The year with long days does not exceed.
Excuse me, the screen is not appear for us.
Right. Oh, yeah?
No. Yeah. The
text. Ah. Why is not...
There is.
Okay. Sorry, so I'm going to start again, okay? Just give me a minute to organize all here. Thank God I look at you guys and saw you moving. I said, what is happening? Okay, let's start again. Below limits, the exuberant day progresses towards happenstance. The year with long days does not exceed a minute on the hourglass of time. Physical existence, even if long-lasting, cannot cheat death. Everything on earth has limits. Only life in plenitude endures when plunging in and liberating itself from the transitory wrappings in which it covers itself. Then one will attain the transformations and advancements of perfection that it seeks. So in this lesson, Joana de Angelis is going to talk about the limitations, the limits that we may find. And here in this first part, she's talking about time, progress, and how much in terms of if we wanted to think about even life in the material world, and the days, we are limited to the 24 hours, the physical body to a certain limit that will be able to have, life. But that the spirit, of course, is the one that is going to endure always. And in thinking like that and in considering that, of course, the more we evolve, the more we are going to be seeing transformations and reaching this kind of perfection. So regardless of how much we may want, 25-hour day or a longer life than our physical body can endure, it's not going to happen. But at the same time, we know that this is it does not limit the possibilities of the spirit. As a spirit, there is no limitation for us. We will be going through transformations, we will going through advancements, we will going to reach perfection. Any questions so far? This first part is kind of not showing exactly everything we're going to be talking. So I'm going to read the other one. Never assume that you are unscattered by the events of the evolutive process. Wrap yourself in the weaves of humility and advance, tirelessly working. Preserve optimism in your achievements, even when the heavens of your experience are clouded by thick shadows of difficulties. Whoever fears acting in goodness negates the strength of their achievement. So, then Joana de Angelis continue acknowledging that there is no way that we will not uh, react or feel whatever we go through in terms of the evolutive process. So it is part of our spiritual growth. Um, and then she emphasizes the need for humility and the need for us to continue in this path working. Here, when she's talking about working, she's not talking about work. She's talking about work in ourselves, in our personal achievements. That's why she follows saying that we have to preserve optimism. Even when life is not presenting us for the moment with things that could lead us to personal health or happiness, sorry, personal happiness. Many times people use their burdens to prevent themselves or to excuse themselves for any kind of practice of goodness. And this is another thing that we should not do in terms of, our growth, our evolution, to deny the possibility of our accomplishments. So that's what she says. Whoever fears acting in good numbs this or negates the strength of their already achievements. Any comments or questions? This is not an easy lesson, actually. Let me see what Orlando said here. Thanks to science, it will make up for the suffering imposed on us by the spirit world. Not really, Orlando, because nothing happens without the approval of the Almighty. So, in this sense, whatever the accomplishment of humans may be, it only happens with the agreement or with the permission of the uh, highly evolved spirits, of the permission of God. And as we constantly mention, the way God has planned or has invited us to live life is not necessarily the way that we have chosen to live life. Suffering is a direct result of us moving away from God's laws. The more we move away from righteousness, the more negative consequences, the more we will be straying for a path that will bring us happiness and not and not harm and not suffering. It's like we have two roads. One road is paved, it's a straight road with beautiful landscape, and we will not find any trouble on the way. And the other road is kind of unknown, but we can anticipate that there will be challenges, holes, maybe the signs are not going to be that correct. But then there will be people that will say, you know what, this straight road is too boring. I want to go on an adventure. So I prefer to, to move away from this one and go to that other one. This is what we do in life all the time. There is a path that will bring us much more peace, harmony, calmness, and happiness. Um, and there is one that is going to be constantly bringing us, challenges, and as a consequence, we will get ourselves in trouble as well. It doesn't mean that we cannot succeed or reach the same point, but we are the ones that choose the road that we are going to be taking, and not the spirits. And so they are not to be blamed. Again, sometimes, as I comment here, if we the only thing we could blame God for is giving us free will. Maybe if we didn't have free will, I mean, we just, this is the road, you follow this road. But God decided to give us free will. He said, okay, here are several options. The one that I indicate is this one. All the laws point to this one. But you can have your choice. Take your pick. And this is when we get into trouble. Any comment?
I have a question, just Sarah.
Uh-huh.
Not a question, but a statement maybe. Like you said, we're always going through what we need to go through, right? To work and do the best that we can. And at times we do. But then there comes a fear saying, gee, we're doing so good and still we don't see no light. So this is what Joanna de Angelis is telling us is don't fear no matter when you're doing good. Continue doing good no matter what's going on, whether it's good or not so good.
Mm-hmm.
What you kind of explained.
Yeah, because you see, I was thinking, it's very much like when we plant seeds, okay? When you go there and plant seeds, you're not going to see the results immediately.
A good example, Jusara. Beautiful. Got it.
And to us, it gives the impression that nothing happened and nothing is happening,
Ah, see.
right?
Yes.
For a certain amount of time. Sometimes it may even look worse, because before the soil was all paved, now I go there, I have to revolve the earth and fluffy, and I have those little bumps, and it may even look uglier than before, right?
Yeah.
Because before was just a sterile ground.
Yeah.
Now I go there and I do what I have to do. I mean, if I'm thinking on this term, but I go there and I plant the seed, and I don't see, and to my interpretation, nothing is happening. Even when it starts happening, how long is it going to really show some result? Yes. Okay, now it grows a bit more. It still doesn't give me shadow. It still doesn't give me fruits, right?
Yes.
Only when it reaches its maximum is that we start appreciating. Sorry, appreciating it. So many things that we are doing, not only in relation to others, okay, but in relation to ourselves as well. The seeds that we are planting in our way, we are still not seeing that much the result. Uh, and but you see, sometimes that's why we mention, try to remember you 5, 10 years ago with your thoughts. Not, we're not talking about, you for something like that, but the way you were, your thoughts, the way you would, I mean, if something happened, or something bad happens to you, after it happens, try to picture yourself, how would I have reacted 10 years ago? And I think that in many cases, we in this situation, we will see how much we have advanced.
Yes, yes.
And that's why she invites us here. Do not stop acting in goodness because badness is happening, bad things are happening, or because you're not seeing the results, or because you think it's going to take too long. I mean, it is the natural process of life. And the more we take to comply with that, to understand that, the worse is for us. We're delaying happiness for ourselves. We're delaying progress.
Thank you, Dusara.
Oh, no problem. Anything else? Well, let's read a little more. Prepotency. How do I say that?
Prepotency.
Prepotency.
Prepotency. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Prepotency acts on behalf of madness. Presumption acts on behalf of imbalance. Only love, based on the interest of your neighbor, can produce for life.
Mhm.
So here she say, whatever negative emotions we still harbor in ourselves, they're not going to take us that far. So to be presumptuous, to be prepotent, nothing is going to work in our favor. Okay. Yes, Phil?
I think that prepotency references power. And when we act in power, we get our way. And if we act that way, we have a tendency to think that nothing can stop us. And that's what drives us mad.
Exactly. And that we are invulnerable, right?
Yes.
Nothing happens to us. We have people that have this tendency actually are the ones that are not even respecting the isolation, because now this happens to other mortals, not to me, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
And of course, when she's talking about love here, again, this is the love that we commonly mention. That is the love that is not in relation to physical love, in relation to love between partners, companions, spouses. She's talking about loving in the sense of loving humanity, of loving the earth, of loving, nature, of this. There is more than appreciation. That is everything that is going to produce and maintain life and put us in balance. Anything? Okay, let's go Okay, yeah, Sonia.
Okay, can I say something? Yeah. When I start to study Spiritism, my first class was the Gospel book. One student there raised his hand and asked why he's still there to reading and study the Gospel if he already read the Gospel, Spirit's books, Median books, and other more books, and he felt like he was able to go for the next class, for the next step.
Mhm.
And in that time was my first class. I I was quiet and listened. After more than 20 years, then when I read this sentence about presumption,
Mhm.
I understand and re- remember that fact because that guy, he believes he knew everything, but his action that moment show us he need to learn much more than he believes.
Mhm.
And this is it. We study a lot, we read many books, but if you're not applying for your life, you don't you are not able to really understand about all messages, every all lessons they try to teach us. Then it,
Yeah. It's this is a point because it is never about how much knowledge you can amass. If you have a good memory, like I say, there are people that they know by heart the chapters, the items, the questions from the spirit's book, well, good for them if they have this intellectual capability. But it's not about that. You can have a lot of knowledge, but it doesn't mean that you are applying or even understanding exactly what you're reading, because you see, and I quite often I refer to that there is a book from Chico Xavier, the Spirit Emmanuel, that is called Words of Eternal Life. That means that even when you think that you reached a knowledge from a certain passage, it's like, you just reached the first level knowledge. Then there is the second level knowledge. It's like for the young that they play video games. You have the first level, the second level, the third level, and you think you got everything, all the information you needed to know about that subject. Let's talk about math or even grammar.
Mhm.
Okay, you learn basic grammar. You say, I know grammar. I know how to speak English. That's okay. And now, oh, okay, but it doesn't stop there. There is more.
Mm.
For you to master this, there is more. And then you go, and there is more, and there is more, and there is more, and there is PhDs, and there is, it's the same thing here. Even when we think we have mastered the knowledge, it doesn't mean that we have reached the ultimate level of that knowledge, or that we are really understanding things. And you see, since we are talking about science, Orlando brought about the aspects of science. It's only a few decades ago that it came to our attention that certain planets that are part of the solar system have much more moons than we thought before.
Mm.
Right? I remember when we just had like 4 moons in Jupiter. Today, I think it's over 48. It's not that it's not that we just found 1 or 2. It's 40 more, something like that. And I mean, in terms of the laws of physics, in terms of so many things, the way we evolve. So for us that are striving for spiritual knowledge, we have to have this in mind, that even if we could read all the books in the world, and even have apprehend their meaning, we would not have get there, because it's only what is in the level of our capability of absorbing, and it still doesn't mean that by absorbing that intellectually I can live that in my day-to-day life.
And every time when I read the gospel, same lesson, and then oh, I never pay attention for this sentence.
Yeah.
It's small things, and then every time I have something to learn about. Then it's amazing when she said about evolutive process and wrap yourself with weaves of humility. Then it's exactly the way we need when we are take this process of learning. Thank you to teach us and help us to understand more, Jussara.
No problem. Yeah, but it's something that we always have to keep in mind. That's why, you know, the studies, like we do, you know, this open studies, they are so rich, because each one of us can bring a contribution, an example, or, you know, mention, like you say, you know, I just read this passage today, and only today I realized that he's also talking about this or that. Or like Zoraida said to us, okay, I read this passage from Joana de Ângeles so many times before, but only today I could see the actual application in my life, because it's exactly what I'm living and what she's calling my attention to. So it is this process. That's why, in terms of moral, and sometimes I think even when we think about Jesus, when they asked him, what is the greatest commandment? And he said, love God above all things and your neighbor as thyself. I think from his perspective, he said, you know what? These people cannot even deal with 10. Let me just give one and see if with just this one, they can do something about it. We were too ambitious giving them 10 before, you know?
You know, Jussara, but it's a lot to take in and to work with it every day. Somehow we need eternity. But there's so much. And just like you said, you know, you have it, and then when something goes on in your life, you say, wait a minute, I should have known that. Okay, wait, okay, I gotta go back. Oh, you hit yourself on the head 1,000 times. So it's a lot to entail, it's a lot to take in. And so we need eternity.
Yeah. And the thing is, you know how children are super impatient to grow up. And we as adults keep containing, no, enjoy it. We are, as well as spirits, should enjoy our journey in eternity and through this path, you know, appreciating the voyage, because we are so eager to get there that we are not appreciating sometimes everything and how rich each experience in life actually represents to us. So let's not be frustrated because there's still a long time for me to, to become, you know what? So far, I'm already enjoying this trip. Maybe before was harder, and knowing that it's only going to improve because of me, right? Because I'm going to improve, and life is going to be better, and I'm going to be able to absorb more things, and I'll be able to learn more. I mean, it's also all the voyage in this path that we have to go. Philip gave us an information here. Very good, Philip. Thank you. That so far, it seems that Jupiter has 79 moons, but only 53 are confirmed. Okay. So thank you, Philip. But imagine 30 years ago, were only 4.
Wow.
I mean, we're not talking that far away. And now from 4, imagine, the advancement of technology and the possibility that we could make of calculations to really say, no, those are actually moons from Jupiter, and having the technology to see and to reach that far in the space and see that clear, the pictures and all of that, right? So, okay, let's read the last part. That we still have 2 parts here. When you are urged to edify goodness, whatever you may be, do not postpone the opportunity. If you do not attain what you desire, avoid lamenting the effort spent. Rose perfume the air. Many become inebriated by the perchance of their aroma. Be a rose. Everyone blesses the balsamic air of nature that cools and pleases them. Be a blessed breeze. In the ambience of tranquility, everyone yearns to enjoy it. Be the one who provides tranquility. It is better to offer fortune than enjoy it. Oh, how beautiful this is, right?
So beautiful.
And one thing that she does not mention here, we can only give to others what we have. I mean, to give tranquility, this peaceful breeze, to give joy, perfume, goodness, you have to have it. And if you have it, you have it, and you feel good about it. You're better already. So that's why, I mean, the frustrations of not seeing the result, the seed growing the following days, there is no point in doing that. We just have to go like the little bees, spreading the pollen all around, hoping that more and more flowers are going to come out just because of this. But we are very much, this is a society that we want to see fast results, right? And that's the problem. It's not like that, or we still linger too much on the appreciation. Everyone say, oh, you're the best, or okay, it's good, it makes us feel good, but this is not the purpose. Because if I have those things, I don't need anyone to do that. Just this week, I was hearing a talk by Divaldo, the medium that psychographed this book, and that he was saying that there was a man that was here visiting the U.S. and he had some problem breathing, and he had to go to the hospital and use a ventilator machine to get better. I mean, it had nothing to do with the COVID, okay? It was something else. And then when he went to pay the bill, they said, well, for the ventilator, it costs you $500. And he said, "Oh my God!" And then they said, "Well, but if you have any problem paying, we can, try to sort it out." He said, "No, no, I can pay. I'm a wealthy person. I can pay, and I will pay for that." Is that I never realized that I can breathe for free every day, and just for a few for half an hour that I had to stay in the ventilator, I had to pay $500. And
Mhm.
I breathe for free 24/7.
Mhm.
It's something that makes us
Think.
see how much we are not appreciating or putting appreciation in things that we are taking really for granted. And here, okay, we don't have that much calmness, tranquility, uh, this perfume, whatever we have, we can give to others. And then she finished by saying, "Remember Jesus, who invested everything in love, even while suffering, to teach humankind to be happy, not exceeding his duties or surrendering. He's our support in the limitations of the world, where we now find ourselves growing and evolving." So again, if everyone could give a little bit, put little bit more of love in the world, in their reactions when they are dealing with people, um, it would be giving us so much more happiness, I think. And it is so nice when we meet new people that, for whatever reason, they treat you so well. They don't know you and say, "Oh my God, they treat me in such an amicable way," and it makes us feel so good, right? Because we are always thinking, no, there are reasons for people to treat us well. No, there shouldn't be. That should be our natural way of being, even if the world is not giving us this back. When I moved to, to the U.S., but also I went to England first, and for a few years, and then here. As a Brazilians are well known for being a very warm people, right? Brazilians, they will talk to you and for a couple of hours, and they will, after a couple of hours, they will know your entire life history, and you have told them your entire life history. Okay, very warm, very naive in a way, not necessarily like our Andrea said, meaning. From Georgia. How was it again, Andrea? Have a good day, right?
Bless your heart.
Oh, bless your heart. Okay, not necessarily meaning as well. You're not saying that in this case, not necessarily meaning. But in Brazil, it would be really amazing you get in an elevator and not greeting people. Okay, if you don't greet people, you're really rude. And the rest of the world is not like that.
No, it's not.
So here you get into the elevator and you greet people, and they will look at you.
Are you crazy?
Yeah, she's an alien in each and every aspect, right?
No, I remember when I came to Brazil for the first time, and everybody wanted to hug and kiss. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, what's this? And then I remember, giving people my hand, and I would hold them in the arm because I was just so, it took me a while to actually let it happen.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say with that is that although we are talking about different customs, one thing and that I notice is that, okay, if I'm used to that. If I get in the elevator and I say, good morning, good afternoon to someone, really meaning it,
Yeah.
I can feel the wave of nice surprise that comes from them. Like, you know, it brings about a good something, okay, in the majority of the cases. So if we would start doing that, you know, more, perhaps we could see more changes and more goodwill all around.
So,
Okay, any more things that you would like uh, to say?
Hi, I'm wondering if anybody has been able to channel Sister Teresa yet, because I would imagine she would have an awful lot to share with us, because her whole life was about humility and charity and universal love.
Yes. Yes, no, it's so amazing when we think about her example, uh, and the power that she reached in terms of because of her goodness, because of her examples. You know, she was a very simple nun in a very ignored part of the world. And so we see the impact that goodness can cause in the world. I consider her one of the, you know, the greatest examples in this sense that we have well, in actual times for sure, but even, you know, in humanity, considering to be named among those names that we already consider, like a Francis of Assisi, of course, the apostles, etc. But yes, it's so incredible. And one thing that we can learn, and that you said in terms of the humility, she did that out of duty. She was not doing that to please anyone, not even please God. It was a sense of duty. I mean, this is what I have to do, and how, regardless of how much I can perform, or how much or how many people I can help, I will do that, and I will help. And so she became small, and today she's a figure that is revered all over the world. And she remained small because she understood, and she mentioned all the time that she was just an instrument of God, right? And what an instrument! The pen of God. Okay, anything else? Okay, then let me stop sharing here.